Hello and welcome to this Friday, October 15th edition of Sneaker News. This is Swole Sneakerhead here to bring you the weekend stories. Alright guys, happy Friday. We are going to keep it nice and short and sweet today and get right to the point. There's only one release we have, scheduled to come up this weekend, and that is going to be the YEEZY Boost 700 in this wash orange colorway. No, this is not the Wave Runner. It looks very similar, obviously, and of course very similar to the Sun and Flame Ember colorways we saw as well. But this is another iteration of this 700 set to drop on Saturday, October 16th at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. As of right now, this is looking very limited. If you haven't already, make sure you enter the Adidas Confirmed app. Of course, at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, like I said, we will have these dropping at YEEZY Supply, as you can see here. That is going to be where I would say probably 70+% of the stock is between YEEZY Supply and Adidas Confirmed. Other than that, there's not many other retailers that we're expecting to drop these. I did look around, and as of right now, Shop Nice Kicks is one of the only sites that has these loaded up. Only some of the Shopify sites will actually load up their releases ahead of time. Sites like Kith, I believe Concepts doesn't either. So I would expect on top of Shop Nice Kicks, probably Kith, Concepts, Undefeated, maybe DSM, probably DSM. But not many. I didn't see these on Jimmy Jazz. I didn't see them on Shoe Palace, so they're not going to be that like overly available. They should be a pretty moderate, like tough cop, honestly. I mean, it really depends on how YEEZY Supply goes. If it's another 5, 10 minute, 15 minute drop, like obviously it's going to be hard to cop these, but only time will tell. There's not going to be a ton of sites releasing these though, so just keep that in mind. Let's take a look at the resale value real quick. If you guys watched our last video, we talked about kind of the comparison of resale value from the wash orange, comparing these to the Sun and the Inflame Ember, the other 700 Boost colorways, similar to the Wave Runner and very similar to this colorway as well. And based on those past releases, I would expect these to follow their trends, which were pretty positive and kind of surprising to me. Reminder, this is a reduced retail price of $240 as opposed to the $300 initial retail price of these 700s, so that definitely helps in terms of resale value. Been quite a few sales over the last couple days. I think overall it seems like all sizes are pretty much the same, and then the outlier sizes like 4 through 6, like the typical base sizes, and then like 11 plus, the typical Bigfoot sizes, do the best. So I would stay away from like your generic sizes between maybe 7 through 9, 7 through 10. I mean, honestly, looking at all of these, they should all have about the same amount of value. Obviously, some of those outlier sizes, like the really big ones or the really small ones, usually have a couple more dollars, but I would run random on these. I would try to get as many pairs as possible. This is going to be very profitable. Unless for some reason they just drop an ungodly amount of stock, which I really don't see happening. The last couple 700 drops like this colorway were not easy cops by any means, and they definitely weren't like overly produced or anything like that. So I would expect it to be about the same amount of stock numbers, and because of that, I would expect the resale to be very similar as well. If we take a look at the 700, if it lets me type, if we take a look at the 700 Sun again, I was extremely surprised about these, but these prices have just gone through the roof since the release. They dropped all the way back in January, so we'll do like a year to date here. Since the release, what was this, January 23rd, they were pretty high following the release, and since then have kind of stayed up. Let me see if I can see all the way back. So this is before the release. I'm surprised they were even this high. I guess they had a lot more hype than I remembered. But as you can see, right after the release, they kind of shot up because I'm assuming they were, well, not I'm assuming, they were hard to cop, and they obviously had a lot of hype around them. So they did shoot up right off the bat, and then, slowly, as just the, I don't want to say, sound so general, but as the economy and the sneaker market as a whole went down, they did slowly go down, but their prices have held up very well for a YEEZY, especially considering, the current market. Let's look at the Ember, just for another reference real quick. I know we did this already, but for those of you that didn't see, we'll just run through it real quick. Just because I want you to get an idea of what to expect out of the resale. These dropped back in June, so it's about 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago. before the release, obviously, and then it dumped off right after. And these have literally stayed in the exact same range within like 10% up and down, which isn't great because obviously there's not any growth here. Like the volatility is super low, but it's also good because you can kind of expect something similar to happen here, where obviously the lower retail you cop these at, the better, but it looks like sales are going to be very, very, very easy to find for 300 plus in all these sizes. If I had to guess, I would say that these are going to hold up in 300 plus in all sizes. Obviously right after the release they'll probably take a little bit of a dip because they already are low in some sizes. Like it's already down 270 in some sizes, and honestly I think that's just because we saw other colorways of these in the past that look similar. So I think that's kind of why that overcompensation is happening. But after this release happens and people don't cop these, they're going to go to StockX anyway and buy them. We all know how it works. And because of that, there's obviously going to be a little bit of undercutting. But I think that these will settle out to be able to make you easy profit in all sizes. So I would not hesitate to go for these. Like I said, that's really the only release we have set up for this weekend. It's one of the bigger releases of the month. But the rest of this month, the second back half of this month, is going to be way busier than the front half. So obviously we have that to look forward to. Be sure to check back on Monday for the sneaker news episode to preview the next week. I'm assuming there will be quite a few big drops next week, and then of course the last week of the month is going to be huge. So make sure you're tapped in. Thank you guys for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe. If you need auto checkout slots or you need information for these upcoming releases, be sure to hop in the Discord server. The link is down below. And like I mentioned last episode, I am offering for the rest of this month a discounted membership price of $20 just for our YouTube viewers, as opposed to the $35 public price that I have out. So be sure to jump on that. We have a lot of big releases coming up the rest of this month, especially the Wave Runner Vermilion. That's going to be probably the biggest, and we're going to be running super heavy on that. So guys, thank you again. Have a great day. Enjoy your weekend. I'm out. Let's go, Brandon. Peace.